'cause I graduated. 'Cause I graduated. I'm going way up, 'cause I waited in the lines and I'm on fire and I'm getting in time. You know I'm graduating and I'm updated, baby.
Kiara and I are here to provide the land acknowledgement for the class of 2020.
We would like to give a special shout out to all of the Native graduates throughout Portland Public Schools. Portland Public Schools is located within the city of Portland, Oregon and Multnomah County. As graduates of Portland Public's class of 2020, it's essential that we acknowledge that every school building, court, field, stadium, office, local field trip, and learning space we've utilized during the many years of our learning journey has taken place on Indigenous land. As such, we honor the tribal people whose way of life, traditions, culture, and in every sense, ways of being was taken from them. Acknowledgement is a simple, powerful way of showing respect for those whose land we are on and step toward correcting the stories and practices, language, and art that erase Indigenous people's history and culture, and toward inviting and honoring the truth and relationship with our Indigenous land, resources, and communities. Indigenous people have lived here since time immemorial for thousands of years in the past. The Portland metropolitan area covers both sides of the Columbia River and both sides of the Willamette River, spanning into surrounding counties. In this broad area, there were numerous tribes, peoples, and villages that honored the abundance that the lands offered. We honor their history and acknowledge the sacrifices they made.
In the Portland metropolitan area, the tribes are the Multnomah, which is a band of the Chinook, the Wasco, Cowlitz, Klamath, Clackamas, Tualatin, Kalapuya, Malawa, and many other tribes who made their homes along the Columbia and Willamette River. Let us also acknowledge the robust present-day federally recognized tribes of this area, the Grand Ronde, Siletz, and Cowlitz. It is within the Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde and the Confederated Tribes of Siletz, Indians, that many of the families of the bands just listed now reside. In addition, we would like to acknowledge the Chinook Nation, which has been seeking federal recognition for many years. The urban Indian community is made up of tribal diversity that originates from around the country, representing at least 380 tribes, with more than 100 tribes represented among Portland Public Schools students and families. Native students show resilience in school from the age of 3 when they enter preschool or PPS Native Montessori through high school graduation. The urban Indian community has a vivid history and present-day presence made up of people whose journeys have brought them to Portland through which ways of forced displacement or seeking better opportunities. Today, these tribes and communities celebrate their heritage, showing resilience and tenacity, which will be greatly admired by their ancestors.
This is your day. Going way up, 'cause I graduated. 'Cause I graduated. I'm going way up, 'cause I graduated. Graduated, baby, I can't be slave, yeah.
Good afternoon, class of 2020. We find ourselves distant from each other during a defining moment in our country. We find ourselves navigating a health crisis of global proportion. We find ourselves in the midst of a societal reckoning with the violence of racism across our nation. These serve as powerful reminders of how connected we truly are, regardless of physical proximity. How our individual actions reverberate throughout not only our community, but also the world. How we both impact and are impacted. I was reminded of the words Martin Luther King Jr. offered in his letter from the Birmingham jail and subsequent writings almost 60 years ago. In a real sense, all life is interrelated. All men are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. I can never be what I ought to be until you are what you ought to be, and you could never be what you ought to be until I am what I ought to be. That is the interrelated structure of reality. We learn and grow together, and it is this reciprocity that is central to our Jefferson community. You have not arrived here alone. So many people have shared your journey. Your classmates, our staff, our partners, the coordinators from SCI, the staff at PCC, the professors from PSU, and the mentors from OHSU, and the coordinators from Latino Network, all of whom have supported you for years. Take a moment to think of friends, parents, grandparents, and loved ones people who have known you and cared for you throughout your life. This is your community, and today we celebrate you. As always, let your excellence radiate so the world can see all that you are and get a glimpse of true demo pride. As a group, you have earned over 3,900 college credits, approximately 2,100 from Portland Community College and roughly 1,800 from Portland State. 95% of you have earned a middle college diploma, which means you've completed at least 12 college credits. And 73% of you have successfully completed a college class on the PCC campus. You, the class of 2020, have found novel ways to make the unfamiliar familiar and the distant close. Your connection to each other is so clear. You show up for each other in countless ways to celebrate successes. You show up for each other to make a stand or be an ally, and you show up for each other to provide a shoulder to cry on. Soon our paths will diverge, as it will with 3 longtime staff members who will be leaving us at the end of the school year. Each of them are powerful forces who have shaped our demo community for decades. These 3 dedicated Black educators collectively have over 100 years of service. Their lives and work are the embodiment of love for our students, staff, and community. All 3 have been fierce advocates for Black students and students of color, working to disrupt institutional racism for generations of students with laser focus, persistence, and stamina. Please help me to thank them. First, the legendary Lenny Edwards. Mr. Edwards has taught video production here at Jefferson for 33 years. He's performed many roles while teaching at Jeff, including Best Costume during Spirit Week, Hallway Enforcer, Mentor, Confidant, Language and History Expert, Performer, and Site Council Chair during the most tumultuous times of Jefferson's history. Recently, he has served as a mock trial team coach and has taught video production to thousands of demos, many who have gone on to be film and video professionals. Next, please help me thank the phenomenal James Dean. James, our head custodian, has been with PPS for 34 years and has worked at Jefferson for the last 13. James has been a constant source of support for teachers and students and one of the kindest, most patient and caring people in our building. Please help me thank James for going above and beyond every day to make sure that our experience at Jefferson is the best that it can be. Finally, the incomparable Donald Dixon. Mr. Dixon is completing 41 years of service in Portland Public Schools, 33 of them here at Jefferson. His contributions to our community are countless and are not defined by titles or roles. Mr. Dixon has counseled 3 generations of demos. He's a constant figure in the gym, supporting our basketball players whether or not he officially had a coaching role. He's the founder of Boys to Men, a mentoring program that brings Black men and teenagers together. He's also a Spirit of Portland Award recipient. He has served as a mentor to our staff, constantly reminding us that our mission is to disrupt the predictability of academic achievement based on race. Mr. Dixon, you are a Hall of Famer. Again, please help me thank Mr. Edwards, Mr. Dean, and Mr. Dixon. Their impact is lasting. Class of 2020, as you move to your next phase, please carry these words from Maya Angelou with you. If you're always trying to be normal, you will never know how amazing you can be. You are amazing people who are living through the marker of time for generations to come. We will not be the same, but we will always be here for you. When you miss the familiar, just think back to Center Hall and the lunchtime dance parties and listening to Petty creating some beats. We will always be here, and we will carry you in our hearts forever. Congratulations, class of 2020. We love you and are so proud. You will always be demos for life.
I'm in my bed and you're not here, and there's no one to blame but the drink and my wandering hands. Forget what I said, it's not what I meant. And I can't take it back, I can't unpack the baggage left.
This is Guadalupe Guerrero, and as Superintendent of the Portland Public Schools, I want to extend to the class of 2020 a hearty congratulations on your graduation. We are so proud of you, and you should be really proud of yourselves for reaching this important milestone, and also because we know it has taken a lot of hard work to get to this point. As an educator, I know that this moment is likely made possible because of a lot of individuals who have stood by you growing up and have been there to support you during your academic career. Graduations are a key moment for celebrating and reflecting on your successes and growths. You may be thinking about the long nights you may have spent completing an assignment or cramming for a test, or the countless hours working with your classmates preparing a science project or the high school musical. Or perhaps you're thinking about the time you spent on the field or on the court practicing for the big matches. Or maybe you're thinking about the homecoming dance you went to with your first crush, or the friends you've made over the years who have propped you up and provided a shoulder during those trying moments. You've each had a unique experience in arriving at this point. It is a celebration of all you've grown and the journey you've taken to get here. And for some of you, that journey has been a testament of your resilience and perseverance. I see you. Your teachers, aunties, abuelas, parents, cousins, mentors, coaches, friends, and others see you too. All of our graduates have shown resilience and adaptability as lifelong learners during this unprecedented health crisis. Given this pandemic, I want to acknowledge that you didn't have the senior year that you imagined. The PPS graduate portrait describes students prepared to lead change in the world. You've shown a commendable level of self-agency and leadership. Our community describes in our vision for the school system that we should aim to produce graduates that are inclusive, collaborative problem solvers, transformative racial equity leaders, influential global stewards, and optimistic future-oriented graduates. The class of 2020 has demonstrated many of these traits. It's had more than just a pandemic to confront. You have used your voice, your advocacy, and leadership to speak out and act on a range of important issues of our time, both those local and global. You have advocated and marched, testified at board meetings, spoken truth to power, and insisted that we need to act now on preserving your future in your advocacy for climate justice. Climate change is real and we must do better. Portland showed up strong in the youth-led movement, and it's resulted in real changes for how we make sure that every student understands this important topic. And as our country and our city confronts its history and its institutionalized systems of oppression, once again, you have continued to march and speak out against bigotry and racism. You have understood that this is a time for reflection, learning, and action. You have been clear in your declarations that Black Lives Matter. Having witnessed your leadership, I am hopeful that we will live in a more socially just world. to prepare graduates to lead change and improve the world. That's our vision for our graduates, and I believe that what future Portlanders will read about in history books, it's just that you are the generation truly prepared to lead meaningful change and improve the world so that children and youth from all unique and diverse backgrounds have the equitable opportunity to thrive. So as you go on to the next leg of your journey, rely on what you've learned, both about the world around you and also what you've learned about yourself. Be true to your sense of self-agency and moral compass. Pursue your emerging passions and continue to cultivate your gifts and talents. We are so very proud of you. Congratulations, Class of 2020.
During an info night for incoming 9th graders this year, I was asked to speak to the families that attended to tell them why the students should come to Jeff. I was asked the night of the event and given no time to prepare, but I didn't need it. When I got on stage, I thought of what to say. I thought of what made Jefferson so special to me. I thought of all the moments in freshman English where from week 1 we had already become a community. I thought of all the moments I'll never forget playing sports. I thought of the times we stopped class to discuss something more important going on in the world at the moment. I thought of how no matter what the topic, how we valued each other's contribution to the discussion. So when it was time to tell these families why they should send their kids to Jeff, I told them that Jefferson is where kids are taught to be human at its most core meaning. Kids are taught what it's like to be part of something bigger than themselves, where they learn to respect each other and thrive with one another. As I look at everything now, I know I couldn't have been more right. Before I even stepped foot onto 5210 North Garby Avenue, I knew Jefferson is where I wanted to be. Jeff was the best choice I've ever made. Having a place 5 out of 7 days a week where no matter what I was doing or who I was with, I could learn something new has been a gift I will never forget. Class of 2020, though we may be a small graduating class compared to others, we are large in our knowledge and experiences. Never in my life have I been part of a group of people so talented, whether it be artistically, athletically, or academically, and in most cases, all of that. I believe we have all been blessed to grow up in a space that develops such a true sense of community, to grow up in a school that isn't afraid to speak its mind, a place that isn't afraid to take action. As I think of everyone in the class of 2020, I couldn't be more proud of everyone. I couldn't be more thankful for the relationships I've created and the friends I've made. And before I say goodbye, I want to say thank you. Thank you for easing my worries about the future. Thank you for reassuring me that everything will be okay. Because I know with people like us shaping the future, everything will be okay.
At first, I wasn't going to give this speech. It seemed unfair. Why did the number on my transcript allow me to speak at our final goodbye compared to all of you that are just as worthy? The title itself was nothing I ever strived for. Being a valedictorian held a sense of power and privilege that I didn't want, that I didn't need. Valedictorian is supposed to be this honor for the hardest working, and I appreciate that. I've worked hard to get where I am. But who says that the number on our transcripts reflects how hardworking we are? Why does the education system rely on a number to credit us, to show us our worth, when we are so much more than that? There are so many of you I'd like to hear from today, but I can't because you were not given the opportunity. Because hard work isn't just about passing classes. It's about living, doing the best you can with the circumstances you have. Our lives are so much more than school, and Jeff proves that, because Jefferson High School is so much more than school. We are a family, and that's why it's so hard for me to wrap my mind around this. We stick together against all odds. So when it's time to hear from our peers for the very last time as one, we pick people off of their systematic success instead of who they are as a people. Though I am proud to say that this valedictorian cohort is some of the most amazing people I've ever met, but I also want to give credit where credit is due. To those of you that showed up to every single basketball game, whether it was miles away or just at home court. To those of you that sacrificed your free time to have a job and support your families. To those of you that advocated for yourself when no one believed in you. To those of you that came to school with a smile on your face every single day, no matter what was happening in your personal life. Or talked your friends down off a ledge after a hard day. That those that sent pictures of your homework to help people out, or those of you that walked your friends down to breakfast even though you were already late for class. I want to give credit to people that not only worked hard in schools, but those of you that worked hard at becoming the people you are today. Because we have all grown so much since freshman years, and we deserve credit for that. Credit that our transcripts don't give us. So I want this to be a reminder as we enter adulthood. You are more than a number, or a statistic, or any negative expectation anyone has ever set for you. You are your growth, you are your heart, you are your soul. You are who you decide you want to be, and you will always, always, always be a Democrat. Thank you.
Oh, I was like, oh.
Don't hold your breath. Don't wait on my love. Don't hold your breath. Don't wait on my love. Don't wait on my reply to your text. Don't wait on my from your sex. Don't trust me to capture the moment. Forgive me, it just was a moment. Don't lay up, I'd rather.
The truth can only stay buried for so long before the world unearths it. One of our classmates actually said those words on what we now know to have been our last day at Jefferson, and the sentiment has stuck with me in an eerie, almost prophetic way. In the months since we were last at school, we have seen so much. We've watched as death tolls rose in the midst of an unprecedented pandemic, have witnessed false 911 calls, scrolled through our feeds to find executions and daylight murders, and we have watched this country burn. On the eve of us reaching one of the biggest milestones of our youth, everything seems to be uncertain. Our plans have been upended, we have anxiously awaited answers about what our very near futures will look like, and it has dawned on us that as we make one of the biggest transitions of our lives, the world as we know it is also transitioning. The things that were once important to us, prom and a traditional graduation, our grades and GPAs, seem much smaller now. In these months, the class of 2020 has become adults. After the truth was unearthed, we began to see things differently. Nikki Giovanni wrote, "Everything will change. The only question is growing up or decaying." And I can say with my whole heart that in the midst of so much decay, I have seen us, the class of 2020, grow against all odds. Our circumstances, rather than bringing out the worst, have revealed the very best in us. We have mobilized in new ways, supported one another via Zoom call and Google Meet, built community in our group chats and the comment section of the Jefferson Seniors Instagram page, and we have shown that our bond is not tied down to Jefferson High School. It exists beyond it, and our relationships with one another will continue as we go our separate ways into the greater metro area, region, country, and world. In short, we have been tested in fire and come out as gold. So, class of 2020, I want you to know that we're the class of overcoming, of dusting your shoulders off and keeping it moving. We're the class of the pivot, adjust, and continue onward, and we will set a new trajectory, one built upon our ideas, values, and visions. We've seen too much to close our eyes now.
I'm so proud of our class for all of our hard work and perseverance that got us all to our high school graduation. We are about to enter a really big time in our lives where we are being challenged to find who we are as individuals and what we're going to contribute to this world. But I know that being a demo has prepared us for this. We are a class that will go on to use our passions for good, and it is amazing to know that our class is going to make this world a better place. Jefferson taught us not only how to be good people, but how to be there for others and to question things when we're unsure. I think it really shows when you look at this class of 2020 just how amazing you all are. We are all going to incredible universities, incredible programs, and doing incredible jobs because of the hard work you invested in the past 4 years at this school, and it's really inspiring to see. Even though our year was cut short and we will be missing out on some pretty big milestones, our class will get through this because we are strong, motivated, and creative. We've already come together in such incredible ways, congratulating each other on college acceptances, celebrating over Zoom calls, and staying connected as a class in any way we can right now. The class of 2020 is historic. We're inspiring so many people to stay strong and positive in times that are scary and difficult. Thank you for setting such a wonderful example of perseverance, creativity, and compassion. We would not be the people we are today, and we're all very lucky for the teachers and students inside of Jefferson. Community is very strong in our class, which really shows, and I'm so blessed to be a part of this chapter. Thank you for the memories I will cherish forever. As you think of the adversity the class of 20 has had to overcome the past few months, and especially these past few days, there should be no doubt in your mind that you can accomplish greatness. Please continue to utilize the valuable tools you were given here at Jeff to make a difference in our society and the way we treat each other as human beings, regardless of what they look like. Fight for what you believe is right and uplift each other. Show them what it means to be a demo. Class of 2020 is going to do some amazing things, and I can't wait to watch you all flourish.
My wings are made of plastic. 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 Oh, my wings are made of plastic. My wings are made of plastic. And so
Hello, Jefferson High School class of 2020. When our school closed in mid-March, I doubt that any of us expected the months of uncertainty and confusion that followed. While springtime for many generations of high school seniors meant fun, celebration, and coming together, ours has been a time of isolation and distancing. However, as we gather today, we have many more reasons to celebrate than to despair. Our graduation is marked by not a few months of disruptions, but years of academic excellence and personal triumph. And so I say congratulations to the class of 2020. Earning a diploma means we have successfully gone through 4 years of high school. When assignments got hard, we persevered. When we had questions, we sought out help. And through our commitment to learning, we have gained valuable insights about ourselves and the world. When senior year came, we had visions for our future. And through planning and preparation, we've moved closer and closer to realizing our dreams. Writing countless essays and filling out applications, we've defined our stories, and sharing them with others has given us the chance to own our voices. As acceptances and congratulatory letters came in, seeing the fruits of our labor has only made us more determined to seize the next opportunity that comes our way. Today, we celebrate the bonds of friendship we've been able to cultivate amongst ourselves. From sharing classrooms to sharing ideas, from sharing spaces to sharing meals, members of the class of 2020 have grown stronger because of our interconnectedness. One of my favorite memories as a member of the class of 2020 was sitting in Ms. Shelton's room during our Pebble Pad portfolio presentations and senior inquiry. It was a beautiful experience to get to listen to you all express your unique ideas in your unique voices as we all shared compliments and spread positivity. In that moment, I saw individuality shine as community was being uplifted. And that is what makes the class of 2020 great. That is what makes Jefferson High School great. I am happy and proud to be a part of an amazing group of Jefferson graduates. I want to thank all the educators, students, and everyone else who's a part of the Jefferson community. I especially want to thank you, my classmates, for being awesome people and exposing me to new possibilities. So at this time, let us take ownership of our accomplishments and cherish the joy they bring us. Congratulations, class of 2020. We did it!
Congratulations, Jefferson High School class of 2020. It's been an amazing 4 years together. I'm so proud of how much we've grown throughout these years and for our strength during this time. I'm excited for what our future holds and can't wait to see what we achieve.
A celebration to last throughout the years. So bring your good times.
I see. Oh my God.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Come on now.
Congratulations. Have an amazing summer.
Let's all celebrate and have a good time. Celebration. We gon' celebrate and have a good time.
Congratulations.
It's time to come together. It's up to you.
Yeah, fun. Super fun. Come and visit.
Everyone around the world, come on.
It's a celebration.
Yay! Congratulations. Congratulations.
It's a celebration.
You're so
Let's celebrate. It's alright. Baby, we're gonna have a good time. Let's celebrate.
Congratulations! Hi! Congratulations! You guys are gonna have to come back and visit.
Yeah.
Always. Hi! Good, how are you? Congratulations! That's awesome. I wanna